Okay, y'all want to hear a little story? Once upon a time, there was an old biker dude who decided to set off on an amazing motorcycle travel adventure. Greetings, everybody. Long time no see. I know a lot of people probably been wondering where I've been. Um, I haven't posted a video in quite a while, and it's been basically just a winter hiatus. I got a little frustrated with not being able to travel because of the cold. I also had a case of COVID here a while back, and that kind of laid me up for a few weeks, just being all tired, feeling, and getting over that. But I'm back, and what we're going to do today is um, my yard looks sort of like a construction zone out here. Is basically it is. I'm constructing my trailer for travel this year. Going back to the Power Wagon for a while. I have my tent trailer over here that I went down to Florida and got, and it's been set up right over here for a couple of days, and I've been kind of going through all my material and deciding what I want to put in the smaller trailer, which of course is over there, and what I want to keep in the big trailer. And so I can set them up as two basically different operations. One is for a little bit more extended out in off-grid territory, being the big camper trailer, you know, a lot more weather resistance and so forth. And then of course the Power Wagon I set up for you know, off-grid travel, have convenience of having as much with me as I can. And that's what mainly this video is going to be about, getting ready for the season and showing how much stuff we can carry in a small trailer such as this and still stay under what I set for myself as about a 425-pound weight limit. Happy to have y'all along again for another season of the Old Biker Dude Show. Hope we can bring some interesting content, motorcycle travel, showcasing motorcycle travel, camping, cooking, fishing, and things that we'll hope we'll find entertaining. Travel to some places that are interesting, share a little history, culture, meet some other motorcyclists, and maybe this year try to think of the things that I didn't do last year and try to make it a little better. But what we're going to do here with this first video is we're going to show how well we can equip ourselves for being on the road in just a relatively small trailer. And as you might be able to see here, I've already got a ton of stuff. I do carry a lot more than most people would probably consider prudent to travel out on the road. I'll tell you now, I am amazed by these adventure bikers who, without a trailer, carry so much stuff. They can cook. They carry the little, the little kits for kitchen stuff and all that. And it's pretty impressive what all they can get on a motorcycle. I prefer a trailer now. For me, it just works out better because I can carry more. I mean, all the way down to, for instance, things like a grill top for making my pancakes on my camper stove over here. Or, I can carry a couple of extra batteries so I have more watt hours of electrical capacity. The Power Wagon was set up as an off-grid trailer to provide me a way to carry around all my stuff. Of course, I stay in a tent. Here's my little 3-man tent right here. I have a little sleeping pad that I put inside of it. I prefer sleeping in my nice big comfy bed inside the big trailer, but when I travel in the Power Wagon, I settle for smaller accommodations. This year I'm going to be using a tarp system, that kind of thing, and sleeping on a cot. A lot of outdoor stuff, and probably sleeping in a hammock a lot more. So I'm going to carry this with me everywhere I go. But I wanted to take this opportunity to show you how much stuff I do carry and what I consider to be the most well-equipped off-grid motorcycle trailer, I'll go ahead and say it, that I've ever seen. But anyway, come on along and I'm going to break down for you all the things that I carry on my motorcycle to have literally everything I need for basically a pretty comfortable off-grid motorcycle experience when I'm out on the road. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you all the stuff as I load it into the trailer. And you know, this video may go a little bit long, but it might give some of you folks who are traveling in motorcycle trailers, maybe there'll be some suggestions on ideas for your solar system. Like, for instance, I have a solar panel on top of my trailer here, and it leads right down in here and connects to my power station, which runs my refrigerator, which you'll see right over here. I've already got that loaded in there, but after that I'm going to load all the rest of this in there and show you how I'm able to carry a lot more things than people might think. I've been doing this a long time, and I've sort of gotten the hang of it. So here we go. Follow along here on the Old Biker Dude Show as we show you the most well set up off-grid motorcycle camping trailer in the world. Okay, basically what we're going to do is I'm going to go through all of my equipment and things that I'll be carrying before I actually start loading it up into the trailer. Sort of a little inventory here. I want to be prepared for anything. Now, a lot of people think, well, you're pulling too much weight, so forth. But I'll be honest with you. Yes, I am pulling some weight, but it's easier to pull the weight in a trailer than it is to load it on your motorcycle. But here we go. We're going to start out with all the basic things that I carry. You ready? All right, first of all, I carry Sterlite containers. They're stackable. I can keep them outside of the trailer when I'm actually parked off-grid, and they're waterproof, etc. There's no active open food in it, although there are some spices. There's things like flour, sugar. I've got, you know, noodles, you know, spice containers. I also carry ones that are full of electrical cables, wires, fasteners, connectors. I even carry an entire electrical kit in case I run into somebody out on the road that's having trouble. You know, I feel like I'm able, you know, with the full toolbox just about, and all the things I need to help somebody out if I run across them out on the road. This one is full of nothing but electrical components, all kinds of things that I might have a need for. I can pretty much rig up anything I need in association with my power station and or my batteries here, which work in unison with the power station to enable me to have around 3,400 watt hours of electrical capacity out on the road. 3,400 hours gives me, 3,400 watt hours gives me the ability to, say, run my refrigerator over there. It runs off about 27 to 30, 35 watts on a regular basis, and it doesn't stay on all the time. So that would actually, I could run that for 100 hours out on the road somewhere. So say, for instance, even if my bike was broke down and I had to be in a shop for a couple of days, wherever I was at with my trailer and my little tent here, I would have the ability to keep my food cold for, you know, a good while. And with the portable solar panel that I carry with me, I could still continue to charge that, you know, so even if it was 5 days of bad weather, I'm not going to lose my food in my refrigerator. That's a very important part of my travel, is I have to make room for that refrigerator. Now, one might look at that and go, man, that's a lot of space you've wasted outside of that trailer already. I'm going to come around and give you a little better shot. Basically, that is a lot of space taken up by that refrigerator. And now that power station doesn't actually sit there. I've just got it sitting there so you can see the square footage that I'm working with right here. First of all, I have in the bottom, I have a spare tire, and that stays down up underneath this deck platform. So I do have a spare tire, and I can change that out on the road even if I have to put it on a different wheel. I don't carry a wheel in it, and that's to keep the weight down. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through some of this stuff individually and show you, you know, what I carry, why I carry it, and let some of you people who pull trailers get an idea of some of the things you can have out on the road. First of all, we'll stick to the power system. I have the Blue Eddy AC70, which is a 768 watt-hour solar charged battery. I can, of course, charge it with 110 if I have to. You can plug it into 110 power and charge this from 0 to 100% in 1 hour. So, you know, a laundromat or someplace that I happen to be, you know, that in case I run into a problem. But one of the ways that I am not usually in that kind of mess is that I carry backup batteries. These little batteries are really impressive. This battery right here is a 12.8 volt 100 amp battery. You see how small it is? I can lift it with one finger, you know. These things are becoming amazing. The lithium iron phosphate deep cycle batteries now, the technology in these things is amazing. So I can carry 2 of these in the same space that we used to be able to carry one 12.8 100 amp hour battery in. So see, by being able to do this, I'm able to carry enough capacity to run pretty much anything I want. Like, say for instance, I'm in my tent, I'm in a cold area, I can plug my electric blanket into my power station, and as long as it's backed up by one of these batteries, and I'll show you how I do that with this little device right here. I can run a 100 watt electric blanket all night long and have the capacity to do that and still run my refrigerator. So, I mean, with an electric blanket, you're not going to freeze to death. I prefer to use an electric blanket to having a 0 degree sleeping bag, because, you know, that way I don't have to tote that thing around when I really don't need a 0 degree sleeping bag. I don't go anywhere that really requires me to have something, you know, that massive with me. Now, like I said, this video is going to go a little long. Probably going to be up in the 30 something minute range. So stick around to the end, because there's some stuff here you might really want to see if you're a motorcycle traveler that carries a trailer. Okay? I'll be back in just a minute, and we'll start through this list one item at a time. Okay, we're going to start with our Sterlite containers here, and I'm going to show you what I keep inside them as I load them into the trailer. For instance, say here's one with just general usage stuff. I got sugar, let's say a cheese grater, my coffee cup, I got silverware, a little mess kit, got can opener, basically just, here's dishwashing liquid. This is something that I wouldn't necessarily use, constantly, but I can, once I get to a campsite, I can unload it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by putting it over there. And then I also have a Sterlite container that I keep a lot of electrical equipment, connectors, an entire electrical kit, things like that. How about denture powder? So, there's an idea. And this is another one that I wouldn't necessarily need to access all the time. So I go on the other side with it. Now, here's my connectors and stuff. So I'm going to keep that where I can access it if I have to on the side of the road. Here's one that I carry. I've got rice, some sponges, noodles, salt and pepper. I'm not going to need to get into that, immediately either. So basically there's my first 3 moves right there. Now, once I have those in, I put my power station right here. It fits in that groove on the top of the Sterlite container. There I'm charging my GoPro batteries. And The only other thing is that, see, it has the power cord for my power station to charge just sticking out of it. Now, it has two ways to charge. Here's my solar panel connector, which I can take this out and plug this in, and I'll be charging from my solar panel on top of the trailer as I go down the road. But for right now, we're going to leave this connected because I'm going to show you how I tap my reserve capacity for my batteries, which we're going to load in next. Here is my little cord that I will have to use when I do that. Here, I put one battery right there, and I put the other battery right there. And then I'll usually just lay this up here somewhere. I can put my other Sterlite container right here, and it still has room to close. There's the little thing that lets the latch the trailer down, and I can still access all the plug-ins on the front of the power station. And of course, the power station is connected to my refrigerator, which right now is maintaining 37 degrees and drawing 13.2 volts from the power station. And right now the power station is at 67%. But we're going to start charging that in a minute, and I'm going to show you how that works. Now, a way that I can do this, I told you just a little while ago about the little plug that I have here, is I can take one of my batteries and put my connectors on here. There's the positive. First I need to put those down. I can put the positive and the negative. See, I don't want them sticking up in the air because I'm going to actually be able to shut the top of this trailer over this. Now, here's what we're going to do. If you see the screen right there, it's still showing 67%. I can plug this in right here to this battery, and now you'll notice that right there, you'll see there's wattage coming from that battery into the power station. It's drawing 101 watts and only using 7 to charge my GoPro batteries right now. But the refrigerator is also plugged in, but the compressor's not on right now. So right now I'm getting a good surplus of pulling power from this battery right here. And this will actually charge the power station up to 100%. But anyway, we'll continue on. I can keep those little pieces right there, and believe it or not, even riding down the road, they'll stay there. I leave this area between the power station and batteries open while I'm out on the road. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll keep my little cooking pouch right here. I have a Hot Logic Mini that you've probably seen featured in some of my past videos. And what I do is I can just put that little pouch right here, and I can actually cook food while I'm rolling down the road. Now, on to our next piece. We have another Sterlite container right here. Now this one is one that I carry a little bit more supplemental stuff in. Here's my coffee. I have pancake syrup, you know, all kinds of cooking oils, spices, pepper. I have grits right there. I use all glass containers like your storage jars, you know, the ball storage jars that you would store things in at home, so that I keep everything completely fresh. I also have jars that contain flour and pancake mix, which these right here are. This is flour and pancake mix. I'll have another spot for those here in just a little while, but I'll show you how I do this right here. Now, here's my tent. That's going to go right here. And I also have a little table right here that comes in a bag. This is just a small, like, end table size to go inside my tent. So I have some place to set things, you know, things from out of my pockets, etc. And then of course there's that big table right there, which I can use at the site. It's waterproof, it's not made out of wood, so it can be kept outdoors, and I can stage things all over the top of it, etc. But I use that while I'm out on the road in the Power Wagon. Now, of course, I have my hammock, and what I use my hammock for is very important. The refrigerator has to breathe, and it also has to be allowed to discard the air. So see, that's what this right here is. There's also a vent over here, and there's an inlet vent over here to draw fresh air. So I have to make sure that none of those get blocked, and that's one of the hardest parts about this. But what I do is I put my hammock right there, and that spaces this, keeps them from sliding closer to each other while I'm out on the road, like I hit the brakes or something. And that leaves that right there open so that the warm air coming out, it you know, will protect the compressor from overheating inside the trailer. Because I get a lot of questions about that. They say, well, you know, if the refrigerator's inside an airtight space like that, you know, what prevents it from overheating? Well, it just never has. Now, I've thought about cutting a vent in the side of the trailer over there and routing that out, but you know, all year last year I just never had a problem with it. So we're going to continue to go with what we got. The refrigerator is nice and cold right now. I do use other containers inside, things like sandwich meat, things like that. I don't put it in there where it can come in contact with the actual you know, the cooling mechanism. I just I use other containers, like little plastic seal top containers and everything. I even have a customized egg carton that I made that I use. It's got paper towels in it to keep the eggs from bouncing around. I've had that since last year. But anyway, let's move on, and I'll show you some of the other things I carry. Now, I do carry a little personal protection here, which is always in there for the campsite. I have bear spray, which I can put pretty much anywhere. I like to keep, you know, the name of the game here is you're playing with cubic inches, and you want to keep things practical. I do carry a camp saw, my Gerber saw. That's a nice little machete. It can be a good weapon against, you know, animals, and it's got this saw on this side. So that's a very practical tool. And what I try to do is have as many practical things as I possibly can with me. Again, this is the solar cable that goes up to my solar panel. And again, I can, once I take off to go down the road, I just simply disconnect this and connect this, and I've moved from one system to another. Now, another thing I like to have with me, something that the people from LazFit sent me, and you might have saw my video introducing this. This is a really cool product to have with you out on the road. This is a LazFit air compressor. It's got everything you need in it to, you know, it's rechargeable for airing up your tires. It's got fittings to be able to do sports balls, you know, big tires, small tires. It's got the Schrader valve and the other one. And I keep it in its original box, even though it's got that container right there. I don't know, there's just something about keeping this box so that I can put it into areas like that. See, it fits right in there. And again, I'm still staying open over here, and I've got my two. See, it's almost all even where the bag is just as tall as the hammock. I'll be able to put something here. And what goes there, I'll go ahead and show you, is my collapsible sink. Now here, it doubles as an area for me to lay things on, but essentially it goes just like that, and if I lever it down in there, it stays that way. I might have to turn the tin on its side, but there you go. It goes right in there, and like I said, it doubles as an area to, while I'm out on the road, if I want to open the top real quick and, you know, grab something, I can lay my phone in there. I can keep my GoPro batteries in there that are charging. I can put power cords that I may want to switch to. So here's my 110 power cord for my Blue Eddy. If I want to, you know, grab it real quick and use it. But just whatever, things from out of my pocket. That's what the collapsible sink works for. And then of course when I'm at the campsite, this folds out and becomes a 3-gallon sink that I can wash dishes in. Now, I also carry a couple other little contraptions, like my little inside the tent light that's also a bug zapper. And it's rechargeable. I can plug it in also. But to eliminate any doubt about the bugs when I'm in places like Florida and things, I actually have a bug zapper that I carry with me. It's from Black Flag. It doesn't draw a lot of current, and I can simply plug it in with an extension cord and hang it anywhere I want, and it draws the bugs away from my tent area. If I use like a 25-foot extension cord, I can hang it from a tree or something, and the bugs will be drawn over to it and stay away from me. And I have a special place for it. I keep it right back here behind the cooler. It keeps the cooler from sliding forward and also allows the vented area over here to remain open so that it can breathe. It can exhaust up under here, and it has the side over here for cooling where the compressor is. So again, we're maintaining the integrity of the cooler, even though it's stuffed full and got things built all around it. And as you can see, we're starting to, you know, build up a lot of stuff in our trailer. Now, one of my other most important things that I carry, as you well know from watching some of my cooking videos, is I have my old 25 or 30-year-old Coleman stove. I don't know how old it is. I've had this thing for so long, but it goes right here at the end of my cooler. And right here, you'll notice this is almost science. This still has to be able to close. These rods have got to be able to come down and clear. Now, right now, everything will do that. See, there we go. And there it is latched. So there's the solar panel. So everything is in just the right place right now. Believe me, a lot of work went into this. It's down to inches, man. But I'm able to keep my full-size stove that way. Now, I also carry a first aid kit, which I keep right here on the side. I have a drill that I can carry, or, you know, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends. In this particular location, I'm not going to be carrying it because I don't see myself doing any real work with that. So far, that's where we're at. Now, let's recap. What all do we have in here? Well, we have 5 Sterlite containers full of all kinds of things, from cooking spices to kitchen equipment to, you know, electrical connectors, tools, things that are necessary. We've got protection. We've got 2 batteries. We have a power station. My 3-person dome tent, collapsible sink. We have an air inflator system for our tires. Got a hammock, a first aid kit, camping stove, refrigerator, and bug zapper. And believe me, we're just getting started. Watch this. I wanted to be able to cover everything extensively because you don't get a chance to do this very much, and I really wanted, you know, everybody to be able to see, you know, how much stuff I can get in this thing. I've really spent a lot of time practicing out all these, you know, it may not look so wonderful right now, but as you can see, things are in here very strategically. Okay, I went and got my little 3-stage lamp. This is a camping lamp that can hang. Say it's got 3 different brightness settings. And I keep that right here in the corner next to my bug zapper because it doesn't fall down far enough to block that vent. And there's also air able to pass through there. So that turns out to be a good place for that. I have a Now, you know, I could keep this on my motorcycle, but what I choose to do is keep this right down inside of here. You got to stuff it a little bit. Let me move this pancake mix. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just cram that boy right down in there. And I got to get it past that Sterlite container. But once we do, we've got it set right there. And it's in there nice and snug. It keeps things nice and still. They won't rattle around very much. So far we're doing really good. Here's my bottle of flour. I use a lot of flour because I bake a lot of bread and I eat a lot of pancakes out on the road. And that's why I also like for my stove to be right here. So I can stop at a rest area and just whip my stove out, set it up at a picnic table. And by simply moving those two batteries and getting that first Sterlite container, I'm able to have most of the things that I would need to pretty much cook lunch for myself or dinner. And of course, I also carry a Hot Logic cooking pouch, which will end up going right here. And, you know, like I said, I can cook very slowly going down the road. It draws about 100 watts. But when I'm, you know, I have plenty of sunshine with solar coming in, I draw about 85. So it doesn't really tap my resources very heavily to be cooking while I'm going down the road. I do it almost every day when I'm out. But anyway, I also have a 1-burner propane stove, which I can keep that right there and keep the base of it right over the top, like that right there. A lot of times I will store extra propane bottles in the bottom down there where the spare tire was, but I've came up with a way, and I've got to get on that now. I'm going to start carrying a 5-pound propane bottle that I just get refilled myself with an extension on it. I found out last winter traveling around in my trailer, I started using a Mr. Buddy heater. And it goes through those 1 gallon or those 1 pound propane tanks at, you know, $7 a piece, pretty steady. So I'm going to start carrying a 5-pound and just getting it refilled myself and figuring out a way to mount that here on the side of the trailer. That's another thing I have to work on today with carrying the Power Wagon. I like to carry these poles, but they're too big to go inside here. So I'm going to be going to Home Depot and getting a big piece of 3-inch PVC pipe, and I'm going to mount that along the side of the trailer and carry those poles inside the trailer. All my tarps, of course, will go here on the front of the trailer. This is my cot. I'm not going to be carrying that bigger tent. That's what that is a 6-man tent. But that table goes inside its own sleeve along with my chair that I use at the campsite. But all these poles like this, there's 4 of them, I'm going to carry them inside a piece of PVC pipe, which I'm going to do that little project later today. Okay, there you have it, everybody. I've got my jacket folded up right here on top of the cooler. I also carry my my knife, my Landkay. This was standard issue for EOD people back in the 70s. It's a Landkay M11 EOD. Guys used to use these, but I use it for splitting wood and any other practical application that I would need while I'm out in the forest, etc. Again, here was my electric blanket. I had also I used my griddle to go right over that, which is kind of heavy. It holds everything down. But there you see everything packed in. It's very organized. I've got a lot in here. I have electrical capacity. I have, you know, my protections, lamps, bug zappers, batteries. What you didn't see was a lot of my kitchen utensils. For instance, my percolator, my frying pans. They are all in another container that I don't carry inside the trailer. That goes on the back of my motorcycle on the back seat, and I lean up against that when it's loaded on my on my motorcycle. And of course, I also have a waterproof clothes bag that I keep all my clothes in, and that goes on top of it. So that's the only things that are actually on my motorcycle when I'm going down the road. And then of course on the front of the trailer here, I'll have my cot. That table will be in its own bag. I also have a camping chair that will be on here, and a couple other little things. They're not very heavy. This is literally only like 8 pounds, so it keeps my tongue weight down. I have a short tongue on this trailer, so it's, you know, it keeps the length tightened up. But I do have large tires, so it rides very good. The Power Wagon is just a great little piece of equipment. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff in here. Everything somebody would need for off-grid motorcycle travel, camping, cooking, fishing, etc. I'm an old biker dude, man.